Okay, welcome guys back to Blender. So we're continuing making our nice little pumpkins that we have. Minus one because my dog came in and he kept giving me his paw and then sniffing at the pumpkins. So we've actually prepared a pumpkin for him. Basically just take the seeds out, take the skin off kind of thing, and take the stem out as well and cook it. You can either boil it or you can just like oven bake it. So yeah, we prepared that for him and he's taken that. And then my partner's given me these peanut butter cup things and a few energy drinks. But I don't need the energy drinks tonight. Like, I'm full of energy already. So I don't want to be bouncing off the walls. But yes, we are working on Pumpkin 2, which is this one. 1 second, let me get rid of these pumpkins. Yes. Okay, so this is the one that we're working on today. Now, I realised last time when I did this that the pumpkin was in the way of what you guys could see. So I'm going to go ahead and just place the pumpkin here just for now. And hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. So screenshotting keys, yes, we've got screencasting keys on there just for you guys so that you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to be copying this particular pumpkin today to the best of our abilities. So this one is a little bit squished in compared to the rest of the pumpkins. As you can see, this one is the one that we're making, and then there's the other one right next to it, which is a little bit more plumper. So this one has a lot of texture to it. You see all those little green bits on there? That's just on the pumpkin. That's the way that the pumpkin is. I think maybe something's telling me, I've never seen, maybe you guys can educate me in the comments. Unripe pumpkin? Am I right by saying that these green kind of dots on there and stuff may be unripe pumpkin? Maybe it's like partly ripe. I just have that kind of feeling. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, we're gonna do the same that we did with the last one. We'll just delete this default cube right here. Go ahead and switch out your EV to cycles, very important part. And then we're going to add, and we'll go with UV sphere again. Just press G, bring it up, and then S to scale. So we got it nice and big in the middle. And what I'm going to do is, let's shade smooth. Let's go to edit mode right here. We're going to go right click, subdivide, right click, subdivide. Subdivide as many times as you can or you're able to due to your computer. So this is my little subdivision, and we've got kind of like all these little bumps going across, but that's fine. It'll add character to it. So what we're going to do, because this is quite squished down and it's quite outward, I'm going to squish this. So I'm just going to go scale. Let's squish this down a little bit. Just to about there. And then I'm going to go ahead to the sculpt mode right here, and we're going to flatten the top and the bottom. So if you go to flatten contrast, just at the top and the bottom, let's just split the atom for 1 second, and I'll just put this on the side for you so you guys can see what's going on. Hopefully my pumpkin is not in the way again. I'm just going to go ahead and move this across. Alright, so once we've got this, we're going to go ahead, flatten the bottom. You might want to just increase your radius just a little bit. Just flatten that out nicely. Just try and get all the way around there. I think we could get away with that one. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So that looks pretty good for the top, and then for the bottom, sorry, right. That looks pretty good for the bottom, and then I'm going to go for the top. So we want to just bring this in. Just around the edges, just here. You could probably hit 7 and go straight down. Kind of view. It's okay if there's little imperfections because it's a pumpkin. It's not going to be perfect all the way around. And I'm just going to go ahead and just take that around there. Just ever so slightly. Take it in the middle ever so slightly as well. Okay, so for the outside of this particular pumpkin, once you've got this nice and flat, we're going to make the little ridges. So what we can do with that one is get the blob tool right here. We can go plus and then strength. So with this particular one, I would say, hold on. It's by drive here. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd say 8. 8 for this one. 8 little ridges going around the outside. Let's go with radius. Let's turn this down. And we're just going to go ahead and just make some ridges around the outside. They don't have to be perfect, but just kind of pull them in. So if it's a little bumpy as well, you can do a smooth kind of texture. Totally up to you how many bumps you'd like on the outside of this, because this is your work and, you know, I'm not going to judge you for it. So I'm just going to go ahead and just rough this out. So we've got an idea of what we want. Maybe one there. One there. Just pull that one out a little bit. Do one on this side. Just one here in the middle, maybe one here. Totally up to you how you want to do it. I think these ones were a little bit too extreme, but that's okay, because we can work with that. So essentially what you want to be able to do is just make these little ridges. Make sure that they look somewhat adequate. And then what we're going to do, we can go ahead and press minus. Reduce the strength and just go in between. So this might take you a little while. You can go ahead and just smooth out some of those surfaces that maybe you didn't do so well. Just kind of come in with that. What I'm going to do is just make this a little... I'm going to make a little dent in the middle just here. And then what I'm going to do is let's add some of these ridges just coming over into the middle. Just kind of make that pumpkin shape. Don't worry if your work doesn't look kind of pumpkin-esque. You know, making mistakes, it's the way that we learn. Don't worry about it. Because for next time you'll know not to do something a certain way and it'll look a lot better. So the bottom of pumpkins tend to have like a more flat surface, if you can see that. So you kind of want to round this bottom off as well. So we could go ahead and do that. You can do that with you could do smooth just here. Smooth off that bottom a little bit. For these ridges, I'm going to go ahead, put the blobs in, minus. Let's put the strength up a little bit, the radius down. I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of make some little ridges coming from the middle. Kind of thing, just kind of carve some of this out a little bit more. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can have little imperfections. Okay, so I'm probably going to leave it like that for this particular pumpkin. Let's go back to the object mode real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead, shade smooth if you haven't already. Go to shading tab, and for this one we're going to press new. Now within this pumpkin that we've got right here, we have orange, but then also we've got this kind of overlay of different tones and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is kind of do a double kind of split look with this. Excuse me. Let's go with new texture. Principal BSDF. Let's go add. And we'll go ahead with the noise texture. You want to go ahead and put color to base color. You'll have all this texture going on. That's fine. So this is going to be the underlying texture. Going to go ahead and just leave that on there. You can go ahead and press Shift D. Just duplicate this down. This one, we're going to put colour, and we're going to go, you can either go roughness or you can go metallic. So this is going to give it kind of like a waxy look. Just on the surface right there. So now with this noise texture, what we need to do is add a colour ramp. So let's put the colour ramp right here. We're going to go plus, and we're going to go orange. So now we've got this nice little tone going on. We can go ahead, press plus again, and I'm going to go orange again, but maybe like a deeper kind of orange at the back. Now we're going to move these upwards a little bit. Just keep a little bit of that red, I would say, just a tiny little bit. That white just needs to come through just a little bit as well. What I'm going to do, let's do a bump node. So let's go bump. Place that between the noise texture and the metallic. And make sure it's set to height. So you're going colour to height from noise texture. Should take a couple of seconds. So now we have what should be a little bit of texture just on the outside of it, just here, as you can see. So the distance, we're just going to turn that down a little bit. We want a waxy kind of looking pumpkin, but not too much. So just get that nice little sweet spot. So we could go ahead with something like that. And when it loads back in again. If it ever does. I think we're just waiting at this point. Yeah, my screen's kind of just gone white. I think Blender's having a little bit of trouble responding, so I'm just going to go back. You can go ahead and scale this down just a little bit. See what we can do. Come on, Blender. Yeah, Blender's taking its time at the moment. So, yeah, let's scale this down so those little textures look a little bit more tight. Like, torted kind of thing. The next thing that I'm going to do, let's put this roughness up just ever so slightly. And if you've not saved at this point, please do. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this will be my pumpkin 2. Right, okay, so once you've got this, we're going to do a mix. So we have the colour ramp right here, but we're going to go and add a mix in there. Now usually I go for mix shader, but we can go for add. You want factor A and factor B. First one's going to be factor A. Come on. Right, okay. So first one's going to be factor A. If you notice that we put this onto factor B, it's going to turn white because we've got nothing on the factor B at the moment. But if we turn it back to factor A, we can see factor A here. So I'm just going to go ahead and move these up. And what you're going to want to do is Shift D, duplicate these down. colour to colour B. Now these are going to be the exact same shaders. I'm just going to put this to B so you guys can see what's going on. We're going to get rid of the colours on here. And we're going to change this to orange and green. So once my computer responds, this one's going to change to a kind of darkish green. What we can do, just move that up. Just going to get rid of this black. And then we're going to get rid of the white as well, minus that off. Scale this down ever so slightly. And then you want to put your detail up. So we could go, it's quite small pieces. Maybe we could distort this just slightly. I'm just going to move the green across. Orange down. You want to try and get both of these colours together so you've got that nice little contrast going on. Something of akin to that. So, once we've got this as well, we can scale this up, scale this down, whatever we'd like to do with it. Just mess around with the settings, see what you can do. You want something that looks like this. Kind of bumpy coming through. Just going to scale this up just ever so slightly. Sorry, scale this down so it looks scaled up. Just ever so slightly there. Let's see, and we can bring in the old factor as well. Just coming slightly through there. You have this one and then you have this one. Or, alternatively, what you can do is you can change this to a different factor if you want to. So, let's go with that. Change that to kind of an orange. Bring that green up maybe. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds with this. You got the nice little green coming through and then you've got this on top of it. So it depends what you would like. You've also got add. You've got screen, lighten, divide, subtract. You know, just mess around with it, I guess. You can do darken if you want to. When it decides to load in. So yeah, darken's probably great for this project because you've got that. And this will kind of look this way. But what I would also say is this orange on this side needs to be a little bit more yellow. So we're just matching that tone up just ever so slightly just there. And then we can bring in those little red tones that it's got. We can go ahead, take down that roughness, make it a little bit more waxy. And then on our render it should look something like this. Hold on. Oh, my hand's gone numb. Right, let's see. So we've got a light right there. We'll just press G, just bring this back so you guys can see what's going on. So we've got this nice little waxy tone going on. Now, you can go ahead and you can play around with this a little bit. I think, personally, the distance should be a little bit more. Maybe that would help. And then the contrast of these two colours that are coming in here as well. We could go ahead and just add a little bit more detail. Just to pull some of that back. And then the roughness, totally up to you, but you can pull the roughness back, you can pull the roughness forward, whatever you need. Then I'm just going to pull that roughness back and then kind of make this a little bit more rough as well. So you've roughly got something that looks or resembles that. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put another light at the other side so you guys can see what's going on. See that colour difference? I think it's a little bit too shiny, I'll be honest with you. Just pull that exposure a little bit. Yeah, let's make this look less like wax and more refined. So the next bit that I would do is the stalk itself. So the stalk itself, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just it's what we did with for the last one was a cylinder. So we had the cylinder come up in the middle, and then what I did was edit, take this top face right here, we press G, bring it down, and then we just go E for extrude, scale it in, E for extrude, scale in again, and then E for extrude, scale in. So we'll make this a small one just for this point and scale in. We can take this, press A, subdivide, subdivide again, and we can go edit mode to sculpt mode, and we can start just pulling this apart just a little bit. Use the pull tool, just kind of mash it up a little bit like it's been cut. Pull it to the side, pull it downwards, XYZ, get the blob tool, do minus, strength up, radius down, and just start mashing it up. Give it some damage. So then we can go into the object mode, shade smooth, and this is what we have. So for this particular one we could also do shading. Let's go to the drop down menu, go for the material one, we're going to duplicate it. So it's material 2. And now instead of orange, we're going to change this to kind of like a dark green. So you go ahead and do that. Just change the orange right here. Go for a dark green. You got a little bit of red in there as well. Yeah, so you could also go back and edit a few things as well. So another thing that we could do is take this. We could go to sculpt mode. You go minus off a few things. Just kind of go in there. Just make some amendments. Whatever it is that you need. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be perfect. Just go ahead and put another one of those in. So yeah, that's kind of like the recreation of the pumpkin that I have. Hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.